Oh yeah, full screen. All right, cool. So this, I usually pick Jug if it's available, especially now.
It's a good carry this match.
And yeah, last patch used to be Tiny and CK. This patch is Jug, CK, and so they got Bristle and Alchemist, which yeah, I thought that I couldn't burst them, so it was my first time actually going Mask of Madness. I thought I could kill him in ult, which worked out pretty fine.
I see. Okay. We'll take a look and see what's going on. For your lane, you've got Disruptor against
I think it's
probably
Gyro and Bristle, if I remember
Gyro
correctly.
Bristle. Yeah, it's a little hard to figure it out. Could be an Owl, could be a Gyro.
Now Alk is the carry, Invoker is the mid.
Yeah. I'm
I'm
just
pretty
saying at
sure.
this point in the
I could...
game, you wouldn't necessarily be
Ah,
sure.
yeah.
Just like what you'd be
Uh,
considering is like the options. I don't hate starting with the stick here. It's not bad against Alk. It's really good against Bristle, obviously.
Out of
Yeah.
position there. Yeah, I
Yeah.
do.
It's not a huge deal here. Just try and like I see this happen a lot, like at lower MMRs, where like when you see heroes and you try and run away, you run towards like your
Yeah,
base.
towards the base. That's
When if
instinct.
you had just ran this way, I mean,
Yeah, I know.
you don't want to be over there, but like maybe you would have lived. I don't know if they catch you. I guess you do like if the rocket chases you and then sends you after the spin's over, then it doesn't matter. But it's okay. It's okay. This kind of stuff happens. Not a huge deal.
Hey, usually at the beginning of the game until the creep wave starts, I'm not usually, that concentrated.
Right? Yeah.
Either I'm checking my
No,
phone or something. I've died
that's
so
fair.
many times.
I I may be guilty of the same thing. I like to play chess, and I like being in a chess game. All right, let's take a look here. So I don't know if you know this, but like Bristle kind of sucks level 1. So like
Yeah, I
I
know.
would like to kind of see you trading with this guy a little bit because he really doesn't trade that well. Like he's got his stats are okay, but he's got really low attack speed. Like your armor's higher than his, so like you're just like kind of hitting this guy. It's like kind of annoying for him, especially if your support is nearby. Granted, yours is like not. He was like kind of doing something, but if you can like kind of just hit the bristle early, like he really hates that. And a lot of times you'll see bristles like kind of try to overextend on like levels, like 1 and 2, because the hero's just not that strong really. Spin.
I had too many creeps, I think, and I didn't want them.
Yeah, that wasn't
I
too
thought
bad because there were a bunch of creeps. Normally, I
I
wouldn't like
wanted to
recommend
balance
doing
out the
that.
wave
Okay,
and do some
I think
damage.
that's reasonable. Honestly, you're sitting at full mana. You hit him with a lot of it, and yeah, Bristol's gonna be
Yeah. Plus,
constantly
I
shoving
have
into you, so it's not a
sticks.
huge deal.
Yeah, I have stick a lot, so I usually just spam whenever I feel like I need it. I
Yeah, yeah,
spam
yeah, for
the
sure. I
spin.
don't hate that. I would make sure you're like going for this range creep. Um, it's just important to like not give up free CS. Like if you feel really in danger, like you don't for creeps, but like, I mean, you're sitting at like higher resources than this guy. Like there's no reason that you can't be here trying to get this range creep, and like if your
Actually,
support
I
denies
wasn't doing
there.
that. I wasn't doing that because I felt threatened. I just didn't want the creeps to go up there. I thought I'd keep the lane back here, and he couldn't because the disruptor was hitting him. So I was sure he was going to go, all the way back, and I could keep the balance near my tower.
Right. Yeah, I don't hate that reasoning, but I still think it's better to like get the creep, and then if you want to pull it back, you can like defensive aggro after it. You know,
Ah, okay.
like I don't think it was one or the other. Okay, nice. I like that you took a healing ward level 2. You're gonna, like you said, you're gonna have a lot of mana. You finished wand. I think that's really good. The windlace.
I get the wind blaze every time.
It's not a bad item on Jug. I just don't know if I would have bought it like right now. I don't. It's okay. I think you'd rather just get your boots. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Well, the way I saw it is that if I wait for boots, I'll wait for my stick a little longer. So why not? I'm gonna get windlace anyway.
Right, if you had the gold and you wanted one. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so here you ran away from your range creep again. Like, yeah, this disruptor's like dying. But like here, this situation, this range creep, you're just gonna completely lose it. The creep equilibrium is like kind of coming against you. So it's kind of a matter of like what you think you can get away with. But like if you just go hit this range creep 3 times and then like walk away, like yeah, you'll take like 200 damage maybe, but then you just like eat a tango and then like kill the rest of the creeps on your own tower. Especially like here, like right, you're not gonna like take that much damage if you just go hit the range creep and like don't draw aggro. And instead you just like really like try and help this guy, but it's like kind of a, I don't know. I would have gone for the range creep there.
Waste of time.
I would just prioritize creeps more. Like it's first 5 minutes, and I'm you're decent, you're a legend, so it's not. You're like basic laning is pretty good, so I'm just gonna like give you these like smaller like efficiencies that you want to like start doing, and like telling you what you should care about more. I'm just telling you should care about the creeps a little bit more, just a little bit. It's not bad or anything. Okay, so now you're getting boots. I think it's good.
Yeah, I have a hard time, buying things and doing things at the same time. I'm trying to improve, but
Dire's middle tower's under attack.
Oh.
I saw in another video where you said you don't pull if he gets to farm it, which I didn't really think about before.
Yeah, that
just for my own sake.
Trying to think about like if that kind of favors you. It's close because like it's not like you love like standing and laning against Bristle like up here, but they don't really threaten you that much. So like the alternative like to doing that pull, right, is just like laning right here. And
yeah.
I don't hate it. It's whatever. You're not like denying him a bunch of farm if you're just straight up laning against him, so your structure's like kind of casually feeding his life.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
It's bad.
Killing spree.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
So doing alright. I'm missing a couple CS, but it's just stuff will get better over time. Okay. Alright. It's a good trade. Mostly because that guy kind of like ran into you instead of running away, but take those. Oh wait, all the screen misses. Healing one? Nice. Yeah, you're gonna live here. Cool. So you're going straight Maelstrom right now. Let's go Cycle.
Yeah, because he's Bristle. It's going to be hard for me to kill, right? And I just wanted to leave the lane as soon as possible.
Oh boy, Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I feel like you're gonna die here. Yeah. That's okay. That was a lot of pressure. Their mid was like gone. I'm assuming their Invoker's mid. He was like gone from his lane forever. So it's kind of life. I don't think you like needed to do anything way different there. You tried your best. Yeah, I actually kind of like the whole Maelstrom Rush thing. I think that'll work out. Like the other considerations to me are like, upgrading your boots, obviously, but I think like upgrading to like phase boots, which is common right now, is kind of only good if you anticipate being able to like run people down with spin, and like you're not really gonna be running Bristle down with spin. So
if I know that my lane is going to be a kill lane, then yeah, I get boots first. If I know that I'm going to have to leave as soon as possible, I just rush Maelstrom.
Okay. Something else to put on your radar is like some pros right now are going like an early like Sage's Mask or like Bassy, even on like Jug. And like if you go like Bassy Raindrop or like Sage's Mask Raindrop or like Bassy Raindrop, you can kind of like just go spin in the jungle a lot and farm that way. If that, and that's kind of if your lane's like really bad and you have to like go jungle before you are like getting close to Maelstrom. So like I wouldn't have done that this game. I'll just throw it on your radar as an option. Like if your lane's going like pretty bad on Jug, you can kind of like just stack this like mana regen and then just go like spin camps down basically. Okay, is your prop like support? Oh, this is a
yeah, support swap.
okay. Nice. Well, it's working out, so that's cool. Alright, so to me, like at this exact moment, like to me this lane kind of changes. Do you know what I mean when I say that?
What, that I have the upper hand versus the...
No. So you're getting close to Maelstrom. You're level 6, but you used your ult. Trying to think for myself, like what are these factors for like building into what I'm about to say? Because to me, it's I've played a lot of Dota and I haven't done coaching for that long, so for me, a lot of this is like intuitive. But like, there comes a point as carry in every lane where you should want to like farm the creeps as fast as possible and then like go jungle, you know, like start doing that rotation into the jungle and like being efficient and like interacting less with the person in your lane. I'm sure you're like somewhat familiar with that concept, being like legend,
Yeah,
right?
usually how I do it is right now I don't have phase boots and I don't have much. Whenever I go to the creeps, I take a lot of damage. And I usually do that once I get Maelstrom, then I just spin the wave, go back to jungle, spin the wave, go back to jungle.
Yeah. So I'm telling you that like right now is like when that switch would like flip for me. And it's because like you got some kills, yes, and like you're gonna be able to freely farm this wave and push it out super fast, and then you can go jungle while the guy's like still dead or respawning and the creeps are at his tower, and then you no longer have ultimate. Like you used it and it worked, which is fine. Even if it doesn't work, it doesn't matter, right? You don't have ultimate anymore, and like just your off-lane opponent or the people who are gonna be showing up in your lane are gonna start to be like getting stronger. And like if this is like if you're like looking to like break into like Divine or something, your teammates are just gonna be getting, or Ancient I guess first and then Divine, like you're just gonna be playing against better opponents who are like gonna be coming and like invading your ship more, right? They're gonna be trying to slow you down more. And so like this is the first moment where you're like you were strong, you were like kind of strong when you had your ultimate, right? Like if somebody showed up,
Yeah.
you were like down to like fight them, and now like you do not want to fight anybody that shows up in your lane for like 2 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Like you really do not want to be fighting anybody anymore, and I think that's the key here. And maybe that's what I was like struggling to find earlier, but like for the next 2 minutes, and then maybe more is like you get your farming items, like you really would rather not be fighting at all. And so if you recognize that right now, you're like, I no longer want to fight literally anybody, then you will, the correct thing to do if you make that realization is just to start this like cycle of like shoving it into their lane ASAP, going to jungle and coming back when they shove it under your tower, and just completely ignoring the bristle. And if they show up with like multiple heroes that you just don't want to deal with, then you just don't come back to your lane, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see what you do, but like to me that moment is right now because you don't have your ultimate anymore, so you just do not want to fight anybody.
So this would be the moment where I just push the wave and get out.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm not saying to like bounce, like I wouldn't go top or anything, but you just jungle, and then when they shove it into your tower, or if like or wherever it is in the lane, if you feel safe enough to go farm it in the lane, you can. Like if that's up here, fine. If that's like under your tower only, that's also fine. But it's just starting that cycle like right now and staying in the area and coming back to your tower to defend it, because you can kind of do that. Like you're not that afraid. Like you can kind of spin TP if things get really bad. But yeah, like that spin I don't really like because I mean, well, A, you didn't have any setup or anything, but B, like, now you don't have spin if they were to, like, go on you, and you're just really not looking to, like... My mindset here would not be to be aggressive. So you're Necro. Okay, so you're, like, farming creeps fast. This is, like, kind of what I was talking about. But here, like, I don't go back here. Like, this is going to be under his tower,
jungle, right?
and this is just going to lead to a bad fight if it does turn into a fight. And in the meanwhile, there's just no creeps there for you to farm, because you're not going to, like, farm the creeps that are fighting under the tower. I hope you don't feel that strong. So you just go farm the small camp. And then if the lane's not to where you farm it, if the lane's not to, like, where you feel safe to farm it after the small camp, then you go to the medium camp, and then you go back. Yeah, because this is fine, and then you start running his tower. Like, what are you doing? Right, you're not doing anything. You just be hitting creeps right now.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the.
Yeah, and it's just too inefficient.
Yeah.
Like, people are just better now. Like, I don't think you used to need to do this in Legend, right? This is like, this kind of efficiency is like what it used to take to get into like Divine, basically. But now I guess you need to be this efficient to like get into Ancients. So, yeah, okay. So you're speeding down the wave. It's reasonable. And now you're gonna go jungle, right? Right? What are you doing? Go hit creeps. Okay, so you looked. It's a little slow. Just a little slow. Okay, so you can stack off. Okay, now go hit the creeps. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. So yeah, just... Oh yeah, but see, now this guy's gonna come fuck with you. And he stole, like, some CS. Well, that was cool. Nice. That's actually kind of cool, because this Javelin kind of enables you to have the damage to kill that guy, because otherwise I don't think you do. That's kind of cool play.
I actually was spinning the wave there so that I could kill the camp, so the thing doesn't bounce. But he still went
Oh,
on.
I see, I see. Okay, yeah, yeah. I definitely would have added a TP to that courier. Oh, wait, you have a TP. What the heck? Okay, never mind, I'm blind. I thought I saw nothing down here. You have a TP, so never mind.
No mana.
No mana, but you have a TP. Nice. Okay. Yeah, this is good. You just started this rotation, like, 2 waves late. So
yeah.
you just... If you can bump that up by 1 wave, great. If you can bump it up by 2 waves, you will start to be, like, hyper efficient. There's so many heroes in your lane. Yeah, I don't like you participating in this. Because you don't have your ult. So this is, like, goes back to the same thing, right? Like, you ulted the Bristle. Great. You don't have your ult, so you should not want to fight anybody. You have your Maelstrom. So, like, every fight you're taking is creeps you're not hitting.
Yeah.
So if I'm you, I would, like, go hit these 6 creeps, kill them, and then, like, run away. Like, if you have to TP away, fine. Like, if this many heroes are showing up in my lane as carry, I'm usually kind of okay with, like, leaving. But yeah, like, coming and spinning this Bristle just accomplishes nothing. I mean, this guy dies anyways. Are you gonna die? No.
I think so, yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is completely unnecessary, and it just has to be, like, do you actually feel, like, good participating in this fight? Like, I don't think, watching that back, you were like, oh, yeah, like, I felt strong there, right? Like, you got ult on cooldown,
watching
you got spin.
I think I should have just spin the wave and get the fuck out.
Exactly, exactly. So, and it's just based around, do you want to fight them, and, like, more clearly identifying in your mind, like, what state you're in? Because if you know with your ult on cooldown that you don't want to fight there, like, I know you just wouldn't have done that. But you just weren't thinking, I don't want to fight them right now. So you just kind of naturally gravitated towards it. And as a carry, it's so important to have that, like, really clear indicator of, like, do I want to fight them right now or no? So you're being back to this lane.
Yeah, I have ult, so I thought we could kill Bristle with Necro.
I don't have ults. Let's see what happens. I don't really like this at all. I would have just ulted that guy. Okay, you too. Okay, so that, you know, kind of worked out. Okay, and they're leaving. Well, okay. Alright, that worked out. Against, like, really good players who you're not really against yet, I don't think that was a good TP. I would have just walked out of base. If you want to, like, keep playing bottom because you've got your ult up, I don't mind. But like I would have just walked bottom and farmed my way through the jungle there. If you really need to like fight them, like if they start diving under your tower and you want to TP in to show up, like that would be okay. But just TPing, because if you TP here, the enemy's got like two good options. A, they like back off quickly and then TP more heroes here, and then they've got a bunch of heroes and you just TP'd here and you don't want to be here if they bring a bunch of heroes, even with your ult. That's not like you're not trying to like.
It doesn't do anything right now.
Yeah, you want to be farming. Well, actually, that's their main option. I don't know. Their second option is, I guess, what they did, which wasn't very good. But like better players will kind of like punish that TP that you made, I think, by like bringing a bunch of heroes, regardless if you have your ult. Like, because you're just a carry and you just shouldn't want to be fighting that much there. But okay, you're here. Okay, you see a lot of heroes. You're like posturing like very aggressively on the wave. That's fine. That's fine. This is good. Interesting. I would consider.
As I said, it was first Mask of Madness I ever bought actually on Jug, and that was just because they had two tanky heroes which I cannot burst. I cannot kill with spin with shard.
It's a very
Basically
interesting
does nothing to
idea. What I would say to consider, what I think the meta is right now, if that's the case, is you actually just go straight Mjolnir.
Yeah,
So-
I do go Mjolnir after the Mask of Madness.
Yeah, I think you would just like. I don't think anybody's going the Mask of Madness though. I'm just saying like current meta optimal popularity is just going like straight Mjolnir if that's the case. So like you would skip the Mask of Madness. I think you would finish your phase boots, but then you would just go straight Mjolnir, right? Like the 2k gold in this Mask of Madness would be a Hyperstone, and you'd have like a 16-minute Mjolnir.
Yeah.
So I think that's just the popular build right now. I don't hate the Mask of Madness. I totally get what you're going for. And like, we'll see how it works. Okay, so you're like fighting bottom now. Oh, you got your ult up. Okay. Okay. Man, there's so many heroes like bottom on your team. Okay, nice TP. Nice TP. I do not want to be there anymore. Good, 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 good. Nice. Good efficiency there by farming the lane first. Oh yeah, you're gonna be like jacked soon if you just keep farming.
Dyer's top tower is under attack. Dyer's top tower.
Here, what I was thinking is that they have an Alk who likes to farm the jungle, not triangle. I thought I'd take some of his camps.
Bottom tower is under attack. Oh boy, Dyer's bottom tower. Dyer, you gotta fortify them there.
This is a pretty minor inefficiency, but you seem to be doing well here, so I'm just gonna give you tips to like improve even more. Is like here, you have enough time to kill this
To start
medium-
hitting, right?
to kill the medium camp, and then
Ah.
go stack the ancients, and then the medium camp will respawn, or the hard camp, whatever you want to call it. This double stack as a melee hero, maybe it works because you've got so much move speed. Normally, like this is
Yeah.
not possible.
Yeah, usually doesn't happen.
Does it? Wait, I'm actually curious. Do you get it off? No, you don't get it off anyways. So just a small inefficiency there. I get what you were going for, but then it would have just been faster anyways, because you would have like been hitting this, and then you would have like stacked and killed this. I guess you would have had to go back and farm it, which you did anyways though. So you would have just gotten an extra camp out of it. So this I don't like. Carries often have these decisions of like how BSJ talks about it is like you finish farming a camp and it's like, do you go like, it's like which way on the map do you go? Do you go left or do you go right? And your decision here 100% needs to be to go left towards this creep
Yeah, 'cause,
wave.
Necro's
and push
already
it
mid.
in. Yeah,
Yeah.
if you by going right, you're walking towards your team, towards another core who's already farming, towards other teammates who have like already taken all the farm over there. And so like another concept I'll tie in here is like farming forwards or backwards on the map. So like what you had done here was actually really good. I didn't really like point it out, but just because it was good, right? So you're farming in their jungle very aggressively as the new creep spawn, and then you farm your way backwards. So now all these camps for the rest of this minute are going to be gone for them, which is really good. Really good. Like, this is a really good farming rotation from you. Whether by chance or whether intentionally, right? And then you do this whole thing at the Ancients. We already talked about that. And once you farmed this, it's 1932. So what you want to be doing right now is you want to farm your way as far forward as possible, and like if you can get these camps before they respawn, push it forward, and then at the 20-minute mark, you do the same thing. You farm your way backwards. And you keep your TP up in the meantime in case you need to show up to a fight or something, but that's like what you should be looking to do. So we'll see what happens when you go right, but like you're just not gonna have anything to farm.
Yeah, I don't remember right now what it was, but I think it was because I wanted to fight more. Since I had my ult up, I just wanted to use it and then keep farming again.
Yeah, I don't I totally get that, and what should happen is that you are doing this rotation up here, and like you're like up here farming aggressively, and your team should like smoke and come up to you, and then you guys like fight them up here. That's what should happen. So like if you want to fight more, your team needs to be coming to you, and if you can recognize this, you can tell them what to do. Like if you make that correct move at like it was like 1930, and you're like farm, and it's like 20 minutes, and you're up here. Like if you're here on the map, you can tell your team, guys, smoke to me, right? And let's make a play up here. I have my ult. I have like freaking Maelstrom, Hyperstone. Like you shred anybody that you ult. And so if your team comes up here and you take a fight up here, it will go very well, and it sets you up for like a tier 2 or Roshan or anything. If you just go looking for a fight, A, you're farming slower. B, wherever this fight ends up happening is going to be less optimal than it is up here. And like C, like those are the first two reasons. There's only two reasons. There's only
waste of time, basically.
Yeah, it's like a waste of time, which just kind of goes back to those other things. So like encourage your team, like play the right part of the map, which is up here, which is what Jug wants to do. They have no way to cancel your spin TP
to cancel, yeah.
if you're like get ganked or something, and encourage your team to come play to you. But you have to be here first. Like you doing what you did doesn't set up anything for your team. So like as the carry, you set up aggression by pushing this out, and then like your team connects to you. That's the only thing you can do
I
effectively.
Create pressure.
Exactly.
I create pressure, and when they come to kill me or something, then my team is ready to.
Exactly. You create pressure. You force the enemy to respond, and then you guys can like react accordingly to like what their response is.
Yeah, I get it.
Let me watch back the last. Okay, so you farmed this mid wave, and then what did you do?
Go back to the triangle, probably.
You got this rune. So yeah, I mean, you got the rune, just like okay, but then you're like, okay, so you do go back to the triangle. Yeah, so this is just like a suboptimal rotation from you that just wasted some time and like didn't pressure top and didn't net yourself like extra farm in any way. Yeah, you're like trying to show up, but there's just this awkward fight mid happening. You ult a creep wave and you still get 2 kills because you just do so much damage.
Yeah, right, it's a lot. That's why I like the Mask of Madness. It's just insane how much damage it does.
Yeah, but if you would just think about this, if you had just gone straight Mjolnir and then at this point had like a Yasha, it would be the same thing effectively. Like this, if you'd gone Mjolnir first and then back for like a Yasha because you'd have another item at this point without if you had skipped this and gotten this faster, you'd be like on that same trajectory and doing the same like amount of damage basically.
That's usually
like
what I would
I
do.
Don't hate the build. I don't hate it.
Yeah, the only reason I changed it was Bristle and Elk. They had 2 people I could not kill easily, so I thought, you know what, I can with Mask of Madness. Why not try it? It worked.
And like I said, I don't hate it. I don't. Okay, so you guys kind of stick around a long time. Interesting. I can't say that I like this. Like, it ends up working out okay.
That was insane now that I look at it. It's insane.
Pressuring this is fine. Like, they've got 3 dead. Getting this kill is fine. As soon as Invoker buys back, I was like, what makes this not go well? As soon as this Invoker buys back, I kind of want to get out of here.
Yeah.
Like, I was already looking on the map, and I was seeing the top wave, like, here. I was like, maybe I want to TP top here. Like, I kind of really want to TP top here. And then you guys, like, kill this Gyro, and I'm like, alright, like, you know, whatever. And this Invoker buys back when you go in this Alk, and you're like, Necros, like, dies, right? Here, I'm, like, fucking out of here. I'm TPing top as soon as I don't think my TP's getting cancelled. So like here, I just TP top.
You should have just moved.
Yeah, so it's just really important to like, and your quap is doing dumb stuff. Like if this is a core quap, maybe that works, but like it's support, so like, so yeah, you get this kill. But it's like, I think at this point you're just missing out on farm. Oh,
I did not think Lena was there.
brutal. Yeah,
Yep.
and I'm not gonna flame you for dying to the Lena there. I just don't think that last 30 seconds of that sequence like should have happened.
Yeah, I shouldn't have been there at all.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like the concept is like recognizing when you can like keep going and like realizing that the alternative to keep going is carry is usually farming a shit ton. So it's like you have to have a really compelling reason to keep going because what you missed is not just not dying, right? It's like free 2 or 3 creep waves, all this jungle, like you had space for the next like 2 minutes of complete free farm, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you think about it that way, it's just so unenticing to like keep making that push work. You know what I mean? Like you just miss so much gold from like not farming during that whole time, and then even including the death. Even if you hadn't died, you still would have missed a bunch of farm in the meantime. Like, even if you hadn't died, it still would have been pretty bad. So here did you TP? You TP?
I TP'd mid because top was already taken by those two.
Yeah, this TP is really bad. When the map looks like this and you're respawning and you're a carry, the one thing you can't do is grief yourself with a bad TP.
I'm recently learning that it's better to just walk out of the base past 15 minutes.
You have to do it. You have to walk out of the base. Any position, actually. It doesn't matter what position you are. And when the map looks like this and there's nothing happening, but like something has the potential to happen in the next minute, right? Like if these guys push in, if they try and take your mid tower, like things could happen and probably will happen in the next minute. And you need to be able to react appropriately, whether it's to like join your team or whether it's to like get the fuck out of there. And this TP just gives you so few options. It actually just completely neuters your options for the next like 80 seconds. Yeah, this TP is horrendous. I cannot describe it any other way. Just get in the habit of not TPing out of base unless there's something you need to TP to. I kind of cover this in like some of my more recent videos. Like it's an immortal level concept. If you can just not make these TPs...
the weird thing is that when I play support, I usually walk out of base because I think I'm gonna leave the XP and farm to the cores anyway, and I'll have my TP ready if needed. But as a core, I'm like in a hurry to get to where I need to be.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to change that, but it's a force of habit mostly.
Okay. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with wanting to get there faster. It's just the recognition that like it's less important to get to your creep like 15 seconds faster, maybe. I mean, you're Jug, so you run so freaking fast anyway. It's less important to get there like 15 seconds sooner than it is to be able to like react to something that happens on the map. Because that, like, now that we're reaching this like mid phase of the game, TPs are like everything. It's just so important to be able to like play the map appropriately, and that you need to have a TP to do that. You know, regardless of what the correct decision ends up being, not having a TP neuters you. And like if things work out, great. Like nothing is really happening right now, so you're not really getting punished for this TP. But like that's just pure luck, my friend. You will wish that you had this TP in like 60% of games.
Like right now.
Maybe like right now, yeah. I mean, you weren't that far away from this fight when it started anyways. Ulting creep waves and killing people anyways. That's cool. Okay, Yasha, Shard. Let's see who you go next. I think those items are fine.
Manta
maybe?
probably.
No clarities? I know what I would go next, 100%. They don't have an Orchid or anything, do they?
No.
No, they have no silences. Yeah, I know what I would go next. I would go Scotty next. 100%. Like, if you don't need this Manta to dispel anything, like, just leave it as just leave it as a Yasha. Like Sange and Yasha is like, I think even if you have nothing to dispel and you're in a game like this, I would go Sange and Yasha over Manta. But even just Yasha is fine. Scotty is so good this game.
Yeah.
I mean, Scotty with
Both
Shard
Vulcan,
just shreds all of their heroes. These guys hate the attack slow and the heal factor, and all of these 3 heroes, you just run them down, and they can't get away if you're spinning on them with Scotty and Shard. Scotty is super good this game. So you're farming backwards, feel a little unsafe.
Yeah, because I couldn't see anything, so I don't want to risk it.
I respect that. What is Roshan? Nobody's taken Roshan. Okay, so now you bring yourself some mana regen. That's cool. You guys look very not sure what to do right now. So I'll just lay this out, and it's not 100% on you. This is going to be like just conceptually as a team what you guys should be looking to do. Wow, your whole team's just farming bottom. Let me just go back on the map to like the point where like certain things should like start happening. So your axe had died, your top. So what needs to happen right here is you should like axe TP's the outpost, Jesus Christ. What should happen, and your team's not going to play perfectly, obviously, but what should happen here is your Quap connects mid, and your Axe like can TP mid, and then these 4 heroes smoke to you. And you guys like do what I was talking about earlier, of like you pushing this out, and your team is connecting to you ASAP. The most important thing in Dota post 25 minutes is taking team fights with your whole team there. Or like at least having more heroes than they do. And if you don't see anybody on their team, you can assume that whenever you do run into them, they're probably going to be as 5. So if you're not as 5 and a fight starts, they're going to be the advantage. Like when the map looks like this and you don't see them, you guys need to be thinking like we need to be grouped up. Like we need to group and connect together. And that's like awkwardly what happens over the next like minute or two. Like they completely farm bottom, which is crazy because the enemy team should have just like smoked into bottom. Is like what somebody on their team should have pushed out bottom, and then the rest of their team should have smoked into bottom. Is what should be happening. So they're both of your team, both you and the opponent are doing the same wrong thing of just nothing. If either of your teams, if either
that's
team,
one of my biggest problems right now. It's the mid game because during the late game I know what you do. During the early game I know what you do. Mid game I'm usually just lost.
This is what you do.
Then try and show up somewhere.
Yeah, so that's what needs to happen. And if either team had done this, it would have worked. If you guys had done it, it would have worked. And if they had done it, it would have worked. And whoever, which you need to be a player that knows this, because you'll start to get your team to do it, and then you will start winning these games. Like you will just win the game off of this play that should have happened here. And instead, like nothing's happening. And if you call for it and your team doesn't do it, you just have to wait until they're ready to do it. Like, you can't, like, rage and tilt at them, because that just isn't going to, like, solve anything. But that's the only play that can happen that progresses the game in your favor. It's the only one. You guys grouping as 5 and, like, fighting them, like, up here. Because if you group as 5 and fight them down here, that doesn't progress the game. Like, even if you win.
It doesn't do anything.
It doesn't do anything. So, like, you need to group up, and you need to fight them somewhere in this area. And, like, you don't really want to just walk in a Rosh and take it, because that kind of puts you in a disadvantaged situation. So you just, like, push out top a little bit, and your team connects to you. And then if you find somebody, they die. If you don't, then you, like, tape map control of this area, get a ward down, and then you can either pressure the tier 2, or you can, like, back to Rosh once you have, like, control over this area. Like, you can kind of choose what you want to do. And if anything other than that just doesn't progress the game at all. And, you know, you're, like, farming fast, so it's, like, not the worst thing in the world, but it just, that's what needs to happen for the game to progress. So the longer
if we had done that, we would have caught Bristle and Invoker there if we had done that.
Yeah. And well, and the longer that you don't do it, because eventually somebody will do it. Like just because this game of Dota is going to end eventually. So eventually somebody's going to do it. So the longer you don't do it, the more time you're giving them to like finally do it. And And like if you're an immortal level player, this shit just happens automatically because everybody knows how to do it, and both sides are doing it all the time. And in these like ancient legend level games, this is what's happening, is nobody's really doing it. Like you're all farming, you're like pressing your buttons well, but you're not like playing strategically correctly at all. And this is the next step you need to take if you want to get to ancient. If you know how this is supposed to work, and then you can like do what you need to do and then communicate to your team what they need to do, your win rate will go to like 55-60%, which is all you need to climb. I'm not telling you you're gonna win every game, you know, but
Yeah.
look at this. You guys take a great fight. This eventually you do it. Eventually your team comes and connects, and you take a fight as 5, and it works out. Awesome. It just could have happened 4 minutes ago. Okay, they buy back the bristle. It's like a little, like if they buy back like that, that's okay. Like that's like kind of a concession from them, and it ends up going well for you. And I like that you backed out there and didn't try and force it. It's good. So what needs to happen here again next when your team respawns?
Same thing.
Same
Like we
thing.
did,
The same thing.
yeah.
Just do it again.
Yeah.
Just do it again. It's how you progress the Dota game. Great. They're going to feed, so you're going to walk to Roche. Oh, they were starting to take it for you. That's nice of them. Sweet. Taking an objective while they're dead also progresses the game. Let's see what happens.
Oh boy, Dire's middle tower's under attack. Dire's middle tower's under attack.
That was a good attempt. I like that attempt, actually. Didn't work out, but it's okay. This is like the right idea. Play for top and mid, kill anybody who walks out. This is good. It's good stuff. And now that you guys like have the Aegis, it like looks like you kind of know what you're doing, which is very interesting. But it's just like prior to that, it's like nobody knew what they were doing.
As I said, late game is fine. Early game is fine. Mid game is horrible. I just don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I guess.
All right. So this is
Yeah,
not
like-
so good. You coming all the way down here? So let's go back a little bit more. Okay. So
Oh, I remember what I was thinking here. Bristle bought back, and I saw Bristle. I wanted to kill him so that we could go high ground easier, since he doesn't have buyback.
I get what you're thinking. I just strategically going down there to kill him is bad. Like, yes, if it works and he dies, you're right. But like, like it probably won't work, especially if he's like a better player. Granted, he's not, but so what should happen here is you have Aegis, you've taken Roshan, you've taken the tier 2, you're taking the outpost. Nobody's taking the outpost. That's a little sad. You should take the outpost.
I always forget to do that. You even mentioned it last time in the Clinks game that you reviewed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I did. I just forget about the. I'm an old player actually. I started playing again about 1 year ago. But I
Okay.
used to play like 8 years ago, right after Dota came out for like
Okay,
4
gotcha.
years.
Yeah,
But no outpost. I just
Yeah,
forget it exists.
that's okay. That's okay. I mean, at right now, like in terms of where this game is, like it's not crazy important. It's just like something you should do just because you can, but it's okay. So conceptually here, you have Aegis. You guys are very strong. They cannot fight you. They fight you, they're gonna lose. So what you do about this is you completely corral them into their base. And how you do that is kind of what you guys started to do, where you bounce between top and mid and get the 2 lanes completely shoved in. And then if the tower's still there, you take it. And then you come mid, and you take it. You take the tower. And if they fight you, they lose. Granted, your Quap TP'd bottom right here, which isn't terrible. So what you can do is instead of like trying to force this tower while your Quap's not there, because she's going to push this out, presumably, is you push this in, and then you move into their triangle without forcing the tower, farm their triangle, keep mid pushed in while your Quap's like doing this, you know, another creep wave's going to spawn like right now in 5 seconds, right? So somebody pushes this in, you farm their triangle together, right? Everybody except for Quap. You kill the next wave that's walking down mid, your Quap's here, your Quap is reconnected to you, and then you guys can like kill whichever tower you want, and then go kill the other one. And then like, if they are in their, if they at this point have moved into their jungle, you like move from this part of the map and you like go kill them while they're in their jungle. You can like smoke over there, you can just run over there. and you just keep bouncing back and forth. So like bouncing back and forth between these two lanes is a good start, and now Quap's TP bottom, so the process should be to bounce back and forth between these two lanes, eventually like take the objectives once your whole team is grouped. And in the meantime, you're just gonna find kills. Like if you do this correctly, the enemy is just gonna be desperate and trying to like leave their base, and you're just gonna pick up kills. Like, or if they're like super high disciplined immortal players, you won't kill anybody, but you're still strong enough to where if they show up, you can fight them.
Yeah, we do that bouncing from wave to wave. Lane to lane, but just a little late.
Yeah,
as usual.
Well, that's what I mean, and you have to do it in like a coordinated way. So like here, this is just at this point, this is not good. So like if your team's not coming with you, what's more important is just stay with your team, and like hopefully the Quap can like reconnect, because like what's happening here is you guys are not grouped up, so they are finding space to leave their base. Like this Alk should not be allowed to do this. There's no way this Alk should be allowed to be here. Like you should just die. 1,000% this guy should be dead. You guys even have great vision to like punish this, and you're just like off here. If your whole team was with you and they had moved over here with you, then you could move as a group back over here to kill them. And like I wouldn't have hated that you came over here in the first place, because like if you all like come over here and then Alk shows up here, you just go back and you kill him, right? You're just waiting for people to show with your really good vision, and you kill them when they do. Instead, this Alk's like kind of getting out of here. Find this guy, gets a good TP off, and now like their team's taking a good fight without you, the Aegis carrier, who's like way like without you, your team's net worth is like, oh no, sorry, I was thinking you were the Alk. Okay, without you, you're 17k of your team's net worth, so they're taking a fight without you. Granted, Quap's not there either, but like instead of being up 5k, it's equivalent of them being like down 12k, essentially, without you there, and they just like take a good fight against your team because you're not there. So what you want to do is what I described, and if your team's like slow to do it, like if they're not doing it quickly, you just kind of got to stay with them. Like what's important is you make these movements together, however fast they do happen. Like me, I'm an immortal player. I'm like, you guys should do this right now, because like in my games, we would do it right away. If your games, like, you know, people kind of hang around a little bit before they like start to move to the other side, like that's okay. Just stay with them. Just stay with them, because this fight that your team loses is your fault because you're not there.
Yeah.
I think we should go to the next game now. I really liked what I saw, and I hope you learned a lot from like what we talked about. But it might be a good time to move to the next game.
All right, sure.
Sweet.
So the next game is a Weaver game, and I had a hard lane, as I remember.
Okay.
And the early game was horrible, and then we started to snowball a bit. I can't remember exactly why, but it'll come to me.
Okay, I'll take a look. Do you have any other questions about that Jug game?
Not really. I learned quite a lot. I'm gonna start focusing on, being on the right side of the map. I need to find a way
to your team to come play with you.
Yeah.
You know.
I need to find a way to train myself to look at the map more often, because I'm not really used to it that much. I mean, I do look at it, but not as often as I should.
It's always good to look at your map. That tells you what you need to do. And that TP. Don't make TPs like that.
Yeah.
Make sure you watch this back. I'm recording it. I'll put it on YouTube. Make sure you watch it back once or twice. Doesn't have to be like tomorrow, but like just to remind yourself what we talked about and make sure it really sinks in.
Yeah.
So this game, you were against like probably Tide Venge or Tide Dazzle or Tide Pudge. I don't know. Tide's gonna be there. So starting stick is reasonable. I think these are reasonable items again. I kind of like it.
Who's that blowing the horn? Can somebody stop blowing that horn?
See a bit straight wand.
We'll turn this tide to
It's
our
fine.
advantage. You've just achieved first blood. Thanks and have fun.
Sorry, I'm thinking about your items right now. I don't think you're doing anything crazy wrong in the lane. Because I see you've queued up the Maelstrom.
Yeah, I usually don't get boots on a Weaver at all. I just go Maelstrom straight into other items.
Just curious. I'm gonna pull it up on Dota 2 Pro Tracker. I don't know if you'll be able to see this. Hold on. You might have to rejoin in a second. I don't know if this will auto update for you. Do you see my
Yeah,
browser window
yes,
now?
yeah.
Okay. Just go with the Weaver. Is carry. So, yeah, more than half of like high MMR Weavers get treads. Let's just take a look. So this is like treads. These are the carries, the ones with little swords, treads. Yeah, so I don't think you should be skipping treads.
All right, good to know.
I guess this guy did, and then like
That was a
fast
very
game.
short game.
Yeah. So that's just what I would use. Like I wasn't sure, so I checked. I was just, what are high MMR Weavers doing? It's just too good for like tread switching plus the stats it gives you, plus just not being super slow when Sakuchi's on cooldown. I find it hard to skip. I really do. It's just a good item. And just going straight Maelstrom, A, it's just not very slot efficient. B, like, just gonna slow. It's just not as much damage as having Treads Maelstrom or something.
Well, what I was thinking was Kraken Shell on Tide. The javelin goes through it, and I wanted that first. So if I hit him with the double attack, it does a bit does actual damage.
I get
Yeah, I
that.
could be wrong.
I get what you're saying. It's just like rushing 1100 gold item as your first major item, like this early into the game, is just usually not enough. It's just not efficient enough in terms of gold. Like if this lane's already like free for whatever reason, like if they're just fucking up and chain feeding, like sure you can do that because like it's like whatever. You can go whatever you want. But in like a contested normal lane, it's just you just can't save your you spend 150 on completing the recipe or whatever. You just can't spend your first 1100 gold at the lane on like one javelin. It's just not going to cut it. You just can't skip these smaller items. Like items I don't think you want to complete a Wraith Band in this lane. I'm not like, "Oh yeah, you should definitely get
Yeah, I
Wraith
don't.
Band." So, I don't mind that you're not going Wraith Band. Like other items like I'm considering is like I kind of want a Raindrop because then he can't like gush me and it does damage. Plus, like Weaver just loves having a raindrop for the mana regen.
Yeah, I
Falcon
think I
Blade is a
get it.
consideration. It's like okay.
Falcon Blade I usually get if I don't get Lincolns, but here with a Pudge and stun from Venge, I go for the Lincolns, so I don't get Falcon Blade.
What makes you think that you wouldn't go Lincoln's and Falcon Blade? I'm just curious.
Well, because it's for the mana region, usually why I get Falcon Blade, and Lincoln's already gives that, and I don't need it.
Okay, interesting. I actually don't have a strong opinion on that. I don't play a ton of Weaver, so I'm just curious. I don't know if that's good or bad.
If I used to get both of them, and it just seemed inefficient because you're basically never out of mana. You're never below 50% if you have both.
Okay, I see. All right, that makes sense to me. I buy it. Maybe a 7K Weaver player could tell you differently, but I don't play a lot of Weavers, so. And I'm not a Falcon Blade purchaser. The other thing you could consider is like picking up like a casual Blightstone. It's really good against like their supports who don't have like a ton of armor, and it would
I
like
do
kind of
that as
up your
well
aggressive potential.
if they have low armor. In the lane, if they have low armor, I usually get a Blightstone, but Venge, it's not that low, and this guy Tide, well, he has Kraken Shell as
I
well,
think
so
you'd be
it's not.
surprised. Venge is only 3, and Tide is actually also only 3. So
Huh.
Blightstone is actually pretty good against both these heroes, I think. They don't have a lot
Okay.
of armor to work with.
Well,
I'm not
to be
saying I'm
honest, I
not
don't.
flaming
I
you for
haven't
not getting
checked.
it.
It's
I'm just throwing out
usually,
like considerations.
yeah. Venge is a agi hero, and I thought she'd have higher armor. Apparently
Yeah.
not.
No, yeah, no worries. If you don't know, you don't know. But yeah, like something like Blightstone, Raindrop. I guess that would be kind of it. Honestly, okay, here's the thing. If this is kind of what you're thinking to start off, your starting item build should have just been different. You should have just gotten Magic Wand and 3 Iron Branches and then flown yourself out tangos with your first gold. Because that gives you +6 all stats. It's very slot efficient. And then you like pick up a Blightstone and you pick up Treads, and then you're literally 6 slotted with these extra like Iron Branches, assuming you've eaten your tangos. And it just gives you a bunch of stats. It actually feels really good. I like to do this as like offlaners right now because I've seen 33 do it. That would actually be a sick build for this lane. You even could have considered it last game, actually, now that I think about it, being against a Bristle. It's Chug. It's actually a really good build right now. So if you try it out, you just buy a wand and then 3 Iron Branches, and you just fly yourself out tangos with like the bounty gold.
Okay.
It's pretty sick. +6 all stats, and you're starting with a wand, which is like great. So these are the item considerations I'm like thinking about. And so if you were to do what we're talking about, right? You like wand, 3 branches, pick up a raindrop once you're able to, and get treads, and then go maelstrom. Like you're gonna be strong, right? You're gonna be strong the whole lane. You're gonna have a lot of stats. You're gonna be constantly building up with these treads. It's gonna keep you stronger. The raindrop is gonna like prevent you from taking a bunch of damage from like Venge Stun, Tide Gush, and then the treads are gonna give you a bunch of damage. You can even pick up a casual Blightstone, which is going to let you do a bunch of damage. And then you go into this Maelstrom, and you'll still hit it at good timing, because you'll be, like, strong the whole time. Versus, like, I'm anticipating you're just not going to be strong. Like, yeah, you'll probably buy some more
I
regen,
felt
but...
this lane I felt very, very weak.
Yeah.
And I guess that's the reason.
Yeah. This guy's, like, pushing the way for you. It's cool, it's cool.
Oh, this game was horrible in the beginning. Like, AA was chain feeding Pudge. The Pudge was massive.
Yeah. It do be like that sometimes. Nice attempt at a dodge. They must have a sentry.
Yeah, they had a
down.
ward. Yeah, they had a ward there.
Wyvern's pulling. There's not a lot you can do in this situation other than not feed, which, okay, you tank 2 spells, but you don't die.
Killing spree.
I would fly myself some more regen just based on how this lane is going. I don't
Actually,
want
I'm
to
getting
regen.
I'm getting the Ring of Health first because I can see that I
First.
can't sustain it.
Right. Okay. All right. I don't hate it. Based on what you're like doing, it makes sense. If you do end up needing it, even like what we talked about, but like doing what we talked about and then like slotting in an early Ring of Health could like make sense. If you don't buy a raindrop,
they
I'm
had
gonna be
another-
super sad. I guess you're just in the Ring of Health rush mode. You need a raindrop in this lane, I think.
I think I get it at some point, but
It's just such a good laning item. Like, I know it, like, yes, it slows down your other items, but, like, you just didn't... Instead of there taking 250 damage, you took, like... You would have taken, like, 150. And that just happens, like, 6 times. Alright, CSing is not so hot against the Tide. A little tough.
Middle tower's under attack.
Okay, so you're using some defensive aggro. You could do it a little bit more, even. Alright, go for the deny, that's good. Yeah, this is good. If you're having a really hard time CSing, even if you're ranged against a melee, it can still be good to, like, use that defensive aggro a lot. I don't mind going for that kill there. You guys are, like, way behind, so you can, like... So in some lanes, it's, like, not worth chasing that kill, because, like, you're missing a bunch of creeps. But in lanes where them both being alive, like, prevents you from, like, farming, it's kind of good to kill them, if you can. Because now
actually, I remembered another video. I think
farm.
you did it. It was one of your videos. You were talking about a kill Phantom Assassin did, that she chased around for a kill, but she missed a couple of. And I was thinking about that, but then I thought I'm playing Weaver. I can get back to the wave pretty fast, so.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and it just depends. It sort of depends on like how fast you get back to lane, but I would say it more so depends on like what happens if you don't kill them. You know, like
Yeah.
I think in that PA game, it's like if he hadn't killed them, he just would have like been able to farm a bunch. Versus in this game, if you hadn't killed her, maybe she like salves up and walks back to your lane, and then you're not farming anymore, and you're like, okay, well, you know, not killing her kind of sucked. So, what's happening? We're just going mid.
Yeah, AA was well feeding, and then they TP top, and I said, "Fuck it, I'll take the mid lane then."
Okay, all right, all right. Seems
'Cause
reasonable, I
was having a
guess.
horrible time anyway.
Yeah.
Killing spree.
Alright, we're playing mid Weaver now. That's cool. That's cool.
As you can see, AA was what, 4-0 by now.
AM TP's mid. What? Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah,
Not
this pudge
expected.
was really good. At least in the early game, he was really good.
Okay, yeah. It do be like that sometimes. The enemy punches are always good. Punches on your team, bad. Enemy punches, really good. Without fail. Are you gonna get ravaged here? Whew. Man. This guy not have ravage? Oh, he doesn't have it. I don't know if you knew that, but you're playing
No, I
fire
didn't.
here if he has ravage. I don't mind that you came back up here though. Like map movement wise, like you are hard to kill. So like, you know, you're kind of like fucking that Venge a lot and I was getting nervous, but did your courier die? Like bought this ring of health but you don't have it. Maybe your courier died.
No, actually, the courier was. Why is my courier back in base? I don't know. I think I got it at my secret shop, but I'm not sure why it went base though.
This is like a little minor efficiency thing, but like once you push this in and like I don't think you really want to push this tower. Like you have a less here? But like, I don't know. To me, I'm not looking to like push this tower. That's just me. You naturally want to go to the jungle. So I think that's what I would do. What I'm thinking here is you could even like run to this camp and you could like, I was gonna say you could even pull it. I guess you just kill it fast enough though with Sakuchi. So I don't know. I would just go jungle here in whatever manner you seem fit. I just don't think it's worth your time to like do
Yeah,
this.
I guess what I was thinking here was that the only one I was afraid of was Pudge, and he showed mid. So, but I guess because I could dodge the rest. But yeah, as I can see, I hung around a lot. Because usually
Yeah.
I push the tower a bit until I see somebody, especially with Weaver. As soon as I see somebody, I just bolt.
Yeah, actually, I'll revise what I said. I think you should pressure this until somebody shows up and you force a
Yeah.
reaction, and then I think you should leave. Because like if
That's
nobody
what I
does
usually
show
do.
up, you are just hitting this tower for free with a catapult, which would be really good. But as soon as this Venge shows up, like I kind of want to get out of here. And yeah, you just linger a little bit. Okay, so you're finally flying your ring of health out.
As I said, I'm not really good at microing.
Dyer's bottom tower.
Something to keep working on. It's just something you'll pick up more as you play more.
That force field leads me to believe that Dyer's bottom tower is under attack.
What's happening? Why are there like 3 heroes in your jungle near you?
Dyer's bottom tower is under attack.
I don't know. This AM was the AA was tilted. He died so many times to Pudge. He even kept writing, "I hate Pudge. I hate Pudge." I guess he threw some really good hooks.
So I think here... So you've backed and you're really low. This is an awkward spot. I mean, you're flying your ring of health out. I don't know. If this Winter Wyvern didn't heal you, I think you'd be in a real awkward spot right now.
Dyer's bottom
He
tower.
eventually does it. There he goes. Yeah, I mean, if he hadn't done that, or like if you didn't have a Winter Wyvern, I don't think you would have wanted to like be hanging around jungling here. I would have like flown myself out of salve with this ring of health or something, and meanwhile been like walking like mid to like farm it, you know? Because Weaver is just not a good jungler. Like you really don't want to be jungling if you don't have to. Like before when I said go jungle, it's because you'd push this all the way in and like you kind of like jungle until they push it back out, and then you like farm the lane again is the idea, and then you like lost all your HP.
Dyer's bottom tower's under attack.
So you got healed. I would be looking to go mid though. You're not trying to fight the Pudge, but like your hero just does not jungle well at all. So you could use some bugs. You do. You're like missing creeps to your mid tower, which you could have been farming. Trusty Shell is actually kind of a nice item.
Yeah, I remember I was well, basically scared to go anywhere because of the Spudge.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really match up well with any of their heroes right now to like just show up in the same lane as them, so it's really awkward.
Yeah, I bought a salve and then I sold it immediately because I got it from the shovel.
That's pretty pog. So this is nice. You finally found a lane where you can farm and like you're not afraid to like just immediately die.
Yeah, I'm thinking about. Oh yeah, they take a fight here, which Winter saves the day. It'll be an R triangle.
Interesting. It's really funny to me this game that like you guys are like losing, you're behind, but your team did this game what they didn't do last game, which is like group up and like come down to the jungle. Interesting. It's fascinating actually that like in this game when you guys are losing, your team does this, and then last game when you were winning, nobody did this. What? Because like when you're behind, this is like if you're going for like a single pick off, like this is kind of okay. Like it's kind of a hope, you're like hoping for a pick off but not a huge fight when like teams make plays like this when they're behind. You guys aren't way behind, but I feel like you're like way behind.
Yeah, we're way behind.
It feels you're way behind even though you're only 1k goal behind.
For me right now, it felt like we were like at least 5k behind, but I can see that it wasn't.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. You guys are only 1k behind. I'm not really sure how that works. I guess because a lot of your guys' goal distribution is very interesting. That's okay, honestly. So like basically, you should be looking to like dodge fights. Like if they do show a bunch of heroes here, you just kind of want to like TP to the other side of the map and like, you know, basically be an elusive hero farming waves where they aren't. So I like the way you're playing right now. Keeping the side lanes shoved in and then not dying is like all of what you need to do on Weaver. Dodging their aim.
Yeah, I think I'm pinging him because we can kill him. I think with Winter Wyvern. Oh yeah, this guy almost
That's cool.
creeps.
That's cool. You're a little low on mana. You haven't thrown yourself out any clarities recently. If I was this low on mana, I don't think I'd be scooching around so much. Like I feel like you have to save like a base like 150-ish mana to like, in case something happens, so you have to be able to like ult.
As you can see, I blow out the mana, but always, you know, a little late.
Yeah.
Oh boy, Dyer's middle tower's under attack.
Hold on. What did the map look like here?
Oh yeah, look at this. Just typed in.
So here, you shouldn't walk away from this lane. Like, you're not going to get dove, right? You see AM top. Like, you see these two heroes here. Like, this Pudge can't, like, dive you, right? Like, if you just stand, like, right here in this creep wave and, like, hit these, you can clear this mid wave, which is really important to do. Because instead you jungle and the Pudge shoves it into your mid tower, and then you, like, you're just going to lose. Like, while you're doing this jungling camp. Like, look at it. Your tower's taking 3 damage.
Oh, look at this. He just typed "I hate Pudge" and he gets killed by Pudge.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. If you had, that's funny actually. If you had cleared this mid wave,
You
when I
wouldn't have
said
done.
there wouldn't have been a wave here, and A wouldn't have even TP'd in. So it's actually kind of your fault that he died there. That's funny. Yeah, always look to like pushing the wave, like especially when you had the information that they like weren't here. Like if you can push in a wave safely, like you need to do it.
Dire's middle tower's under attack.
There's the when we come back.
So here you're like kind of dodging them, and they just like walk into your triangle. Wow, these guys are nuts. I mean, I know you're behind, but like. This is why you don't walk in the enemy triangle and take fights. Holy moly. Yeah, I don't know why they thought they could do that. Well played from you guys to just punish. I don't hate this TP.
So what I was thinking was that you know, top was pushing in, so I thought I'd push it out and hit the tower a bit. So what would you do? Hello?
I'm trying to think.
Oh.
Trying to think. It's a weird lineup.
Yeah, we have a Veno 3 and Leshek 4.
I think what would be better is if you guys just go take the mid tower right now.
Yeah, that makes sense. The wave is a lot closer, and we could have taken it faster.
Like they've got 4 heroes dead, and they've got a very strong mid tower that like is like your guys' next like team objective. Like you weren't like playing for objectives before because you were behind, you were just dodging them. But given that they've all died, like if you want to progress the game, you just go take the mid tower. It did take me 30 seconds of the map staring at it to realize that their mid tower was still there. But I think 100% the correct play is going to take the mid tower. Because, like, what you did is not bad. Like, they're all dead, and you TP'd your own dead lane to, like, shove it out and get a bunch of lane creep farm, which, like, as Weaver is, like, pretty much what you want, because you don't really want to be jungling too much. You're, like, close to the point where you can, like, jungle regularly, but alternatively, you could have ran straight bottom and, like, shoved it in. I don't really care if you, like, pressure this tower. Like, that's not what I would, like, consider, like, is the key aspect of going down there. But you could just, like, run down here, farm the lane, farm some jungle, I guess, or then maybe, depending on where they are, you could TP top and, like, do it a little bit and then, like, run back down here. But I think given that you haven't taken the mid tower yet, like, that would definitely be the best play now that I realize that it's up. Maybe your team takes it without you? We'll see. Because if you do these kinds of things too slower with not enough heroes, the enemy just, like, defends it like they are doing right now. The enemy's defending their mid tower, so.
Radiant just fortified their structures. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, given what you did, though, I think you're doing it well. So, like I said, I don't hate what you did. It wasn't completely clear what to do in that situation. Or I think you had a lot of, like, semi-decent options, I guess I'll say. I think what you're doing is still fine. I was just very confused. Like, AM showed up top, and then didn't push it out, and then Dazzle was top, and AM was mid. It's like just trying to figure out what the enemy team was doing. What?
Yeah, usually people underestimate Weaver. I think that's what he was doing right there.
And then you TP'd. So here's the thing about this TP, is it might be good or it might not be good. And I don't know because you didn't actually look before you made the TP. Like, that's the thing. So I've talked about this a lot in some of my other carry coaching sessions and it hasn't really come up for you yet. But this TP you can't make this TP without looking and seeing what's going on first. Because sometimes you look and your team's getting, like, demolished. And then you're like, oh, I don't want to show up to that. And then you don't make the TP and you stay on the map and you, like, pressure side lanes. Sometimes...
I didn't look directly, but I saw that they were fighting, and I saw the health bars on top, and I said, why not?
You don't... I don't think you can see health bars in the game. I'm pretty sure these
Yeah, you
health
can.
bars aren't there. Well, like, not for
Yeah,
their
I'm
team.
pretty sure. No, not for their team, for ours.
Yeah, I mean... Okay. What I see is that you have a hero dead already. And
Oh yeah,
they
AA
seem
was
to
not in
have
the game ever.
their entire team there already. So you're TPing into what is currently a 3v5 to make it a 4v5, which is just not the kind of fight you want to be taking.
Yeah.
That's what I see. So, like, I just want you to... And I'm not telling you that this TP is bad. I'm just telling you you didn't look. So, like, you just have to look and assess and then TP. And then, you know, and then we can talk about the decision. This Parch just walks into the triangle again.
Yeah,
I guess if they're going to take their fights like this.
Yeah, Fudge was way overconfident.
Yeah, he was feeling himself and then got punished.
He had a really good game.
Okay, so you're going to clean up bottom. I like this. Your team can take mid without you at this point because you're all dead. So this was a clear play that is good. Gleipnir. I think Gleipnir's decent. I think you need a BKB though. I'd buy BKB. Like Lincoln's is good, but like it's not gonna save you from like getting ravaged and like AM blink manting you, you know. Which is like kind of how you die, given that you have those Lincolns.
Well, what I was thinking here was that chances of me dodging Ravage with BKB are very slim. I'm not that fast.
Well, it's not to like immediate react like BKB the blink Ravage on top of you. Like that's not what you buy it for. Like you buy it to have it, and if a fight breaks out, you just BKB and then you never get ravaged.
Yeah, because the rest were covered by Lincolns. Well, they had the stun from Benj and the ult from the Pudge.
Right. No, I understand.
That's what I was thinking, at least.
Yeah, I'm just telling you, I would get a BKB here.
Yeah,
I just
I do get it after, I
like
think.
Ravage and like AM. Like if you have a BKB, you can man fight this AM because he's not burning your mana. And if you don't have a BKB, you can never man fight this AM.
Yeah.
So here, this is like important, I think, of like what to do when the map looks like this. And it's sort of like what we talked about last time. But like, what is the next objective on the map?
Right now,
yeah, for you
what
guys.
I would do, yeah, either push bottom and force a fight, since, well, that's not a good idea because we don't have the ults. I guess just push out the waves again and play around Roche.
Roshan is the next objective you guys want to take. Like this tower, don't really care about. It could be like an option, but like Roshan or this tower are the two objectives that you could feasibly take next, right? Now you guys are like a little more ahead, and we're getting to that phase where the only thing that matters is like if your whole team's like together for fights, and that's like kind of what determines the outcomes of most of the fights at this stage of the game is like who has more heroes. So I think it's really important here to like, I would be running this way and like connecting with my team and running towards Roche. And like, they all just respawned. So I guess it depends on two things. It's like either A, if you realize that they have like all their spells and you're trying to dodge them, you can run backwards. Like if you're like, guys, we can't fight them right now. Like they have all their spells. So you can like kind of run backwards and wait till your spells are up. And then you guys can like go look for a fight again. But like B, if you're like just kind of ahead now, and you have the ability to like play towards objectives that you want, like you kind of need to just do it and not like waste time doing other stuff. And like it's important if you know what you need to do to like go start to do it as soon as you can, because people on your team won't know what to do. It doesn't matter what MMR you're at. Whatever, like if you know what the next objective is, there are going to be people on your team that aren't thinking about it. Like until you're an immortal, like not all 5 people on your team are going to be correctly thinking about the next objectives. So like you need to like identify the next correct objectives and play towards them and encourage your team to, because they literally just need the help. And if you don't know, you don't know, right? But like hopefully with this coaching, you'll start to realize what these are and like think about them faster in the game. And if you start to play towards these objectives and call them out correctly, like you will just like kind of manage your team to like victory that way. Because there's just people on your team that aren't gonna know what to do, and if you're just over here jungling, they are not gonna like play in a coordinated way, and they're just gonna get punished for it. So you can like figure out like we need to take Roshan, which you told me, right? You're like, oh yeah, we need to like play around Roshan. Like then like this fight doesn't happen. Does this go well for you guys?
Yeah, it does.
Are you sure?
Oh no.
That didn't go well for you guys.
Yeah.
So like that's the thing, right? Is like this fight just kind of broke out. And like yes, it's an aggressive part of the map, but like I don't know. This did you guys like have you had most of your spells. Your Venom doesn't have ult. I don't know. I guess taking a fight down here isn't too bad. Although you're kind of getting close to your next item. So you're like fighting with a lot of net worth that isn't realized. It's like in your stash. It's like kind of important to like fight around your timings in this phase in the game. Like not fighting just to fight, but like making sure you have all your abilities, making sure you're hitting an item timing so you're like at a peak. And like not fighting into all of their spells if you can avoid it. And you know, maybe with slightly better execution from your team this goes better. But yeah, I don't know. I would have been looking to play more towards Roshan, encouraging your team to go that way. And like just getting the lanes pushed out and making sure you're like hitting your next item timing before you like really look to do that. It's that, or like when you were first back here and you went right, you just go left and you guys are like as 5 right here when they like walk under this ward in the first place, and then you can like start the fight in an advantageous way. Whereas like you weren't really the fight when it started. You know, maybe they had some people lagging behind, but it just didn't break out in like an organized way, and I think that's part of why it didn't go so well. Jungle here. I would not go jungle here. I would, as soon as you push this out and you don't want to keep pushing in, I would run top actually, because my team's starting to respawn and you know they're gonna TP or walk out or something, but like acknowledging that Roshan is like the next play and anticipating that somebody on their team is probably going to go push in top, like they're going to de-push this and then it's going to be pushing in towards you guys, you can kind of like counteract that, be up, and you want to be in the side lane anyways, and you want to play for Roche, so you don't want to go bottom. Like to me, you want to like go play to the side lane here is kind of the concept, and because Roshan is the objective, the side lane you should be going for is the one like closer to Roshan. So that's what I would do here. And like, you know, this AM does show up and it is pushing out. And if you like jungle your way up here, then this actually won't be too bad. Your Venom TP'd up here. That's not too bad, I guess. So yeah, you kind of do make your way up here. This is okay. I just wouldn't have gone from mid back here to do that. I would have like gone like this way. You know, make like a more direct line. But that's okay. Yeah. That's a pretty minor efficiency thing. So you have your item now. And another thing you should be thinking about is like these timings and like it's the cooldowns, right? So like, you know, we're here. We pushed in mid. They don't have Ravage now, right? For a while.
Yeah.
a long time. So like I want to be setting the map up to like make an aggressive play or play for Roshan, like probably fighting them first instead of just walking straight into Roshan, because like they can kind of delay it and hopefully like the Ravage comes up for them. So like I'd be looking to like make a play here, right? You guys kind of group top, which I think is kind of nice, like grouping in the area of the Roshan. Your Lesh is not here, which is unfortunate. But like that's what you should be looking to do as a team. Like maybe you could be like encouraging your Lesh to like group. Like taking a fight right now would be really good for you guys because they don't have Ravage. So you're pushing in top. I think it's actually reasonable. You're playing around the Roshan. I don't know if it's like intentionally you guys playing around the Roshan or there's just like a
Yeah,
chance that you guys are top now. But
we were. I was trying to make them go there.
okay.
But we don't really have somebody to tank it, so that's why I couldn't take it before.
Yeah, and that's what I mean is you kind of have to kill them first. Like your guys' lineup doesn't like just straight like walk into Roshan and take it when the enemy's heroes are alive.
If I'm playing like an Ursa or something that can take Roche by itself, I usually just I learned this I think in one of the BSJ's videos. Make something happen bottom, make someone TP there, and then just TP top and take Roche while they're bottom.
Yeah, for sure.
But if I don't have a hero that takes it by itself, it usually just doesn't get taken because you tell them, let's go Roche, let's go Roche, let's go Roche, and nobody does.
Right, yeah. So this fight ended up working out really well for you guys. I will just note that, like, because you guys didn't, like, kind of smoke and make a play quickly, the Tide did have Ravage for that. Ended up working out for you guys anyways, but, like, you can take a fight similar to that if you do it faster, and the Tide won't even have his Ravage, you know?
Yeah.
But I think this might be a good time to cut it off. We've been going for quite a while already. Do you have any more questions about this game?
Well, in the beginning, if you have a bad lane and you don't have a jungling hero, what do you do?
It kind of comes down to finding like a lane to farm. Like I think you kind of did a good job by like taking over mid from the AA. Because like Weaver is a very lane dependent hero. Like if you're playing a hero like Weaver and you lose your lane, there aren't a lot of good options. So you kind of have to like just make the best of it. Sometimes it's maybe going mid. Sometimes maybe you like go to your off lane. Sometimes you like, I don't know, pull your own small camp and like hope they push it under your tower. But that's kind of why like these early items are important on Weaver, because you have to be strong in your lane to like make sure you don't like just lose your lane, right? Like getting the treads and getting the wand and like or the raindrop, I mean, you had a wand, but getting the treads, getting the raindrop, these things would have like contributed you to like not losing your lane so much, and you could have stayed there. Because conceptually, Weaver just wants to stay in his lane. BSJ's made a video on this, but there's like an archetype of carry that wants to just sit in their safe lane as long as possible and just chill until the enemy brings like 3 or 4 heroes to like boot them out. Like Morphling, Weaver, Slark, I think there was another one, I don't know. There's like these specific heroes really do not do well if you just boot them out of their lane. And they're very hard to kill, so they're hard to like boot out of lane. So that's why it's important to like kind of buy these like earlier items. I think like a lot of like Weavers on Dota 2 Pro Tracker are still like getting like some Wraith Bands sometimes. It's not a bad idea to maybe pick up one Wraith Band.
Yeah, Wraith Band I get if they have a ranged hero that, you know, likes to hit me. I usually go for Wraith Band.
Okay.
Raindrops if they have a lot of magical damage, but I guess I didn't see that with Tide.
Yeah, the Gush and the Venge Stun, just any nuke that you don't want to get hit by, like Raindrop. And Weaver, you should want to buy a Raindrop anyways. The only time you don't buy a Raindrop on Weaver is like there's literally no spell that will break Raindrop in the enemy team, so I guess I won't buy one. But like you should want to buy Raindrop on Weaver all the time. Cool. Yeah. So.
Right.
Break in. All right, man. Well, hopefully this was helpful.
Hey, it was very. Let me know when you put it up on YouTube, and I'll rewatch it again.
All right, sounds good, man. I will talk to you later.
All right. Thank you very much, man.
Yep. See you.
Have a good day. Bye.